plus hitter. He was fantastic because he was always around 302, 304, 306. So he wasn't ever and it may have been at one point in his career, but he didn't ever live up in the 330, 340, 350, which is virtually impossible. Yeah. But, Tony Gwynn and Rod Carew and some of the Wade Boggs at that time that just hit. Yeah. Did I say Tony Gwynn?
Tony Gwynn.
Okay. And but Trinidad Chambliss and I guess Austin Simmons. I mean, Austin's got skills, but he wasn't lighting it on fire, but he was early in his career. Right now are better than Arch Manning.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Some people have asked, is Mississippi State going to be able to run the football? Blake, so people are all over the offensive line. And I know Reese wasn't playing and you've had starters out, but, everybody's going through their thing. I think unless your quarterback is a threat to run, it's going to be tough for you to run the football. I mean, I think Fluff has skills.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that Booth has skills. And I think you have a couple other guys that are solid. But I think Fluff and Booth can get it done many Saturdays in college football. They have that skill set for Mississippi State and Jeff Levy. I think people are going a little overboard on the O-line. If the defense, if Shapen's never going to pull it and run, I don't think it's going to work.
No, you know what to expect.
So that's my take on that. I understand you haven't had to yet, and you may not have to this weekend with Northern Illinois. Shapen doesn't have to run now. He even took some hits against Alcorn State that I didn't think he needed to take in the pocket, but it happened, and it seems like he's fine. But to run the football, the defense has to respect the quarterback too, not just the offensive lineman. It's kind of like sacks, right? 90-ish% of the time, it's on the quarterback.
Yep.
But we grew up not thinking that way. Basically, you got 3 seconds. You got to figure it out, right? That's it. You're either going to go through the progressions and see somebody and drop a dime,
tuck it,
throw it away, or like you said, bring it down and extend the play. Which, man, Dak Prescott made a living doing that on Sunday, didn't he?
Big time.
All right, the Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by Independent Roofing Systems, #1 commercial industrial roofing company in Mississippi, done right the first time. Mike Detillier, out of New Orleans, WWL Radio, 830. It's National Cinnamon Raisin Bread Day. No, thank you. Collect rocks. That sounds boring. Let's see what else we have here. No, I'm not going there. That looks a little... World Barber Day. Shout out to Richardson Barber and Salon in Clinton, Mississippi. They have a beautiful, beautiful place, and we're excited to have them on the show. Richardson Barber and Salon in Clinton, on Clinton Parkway. They went in and renovated the space. It's got a real cool vibe, husband-wife team, and they do a great job. Yeah, Richardson Barber and Salon in Clinton, Mississippi, and wonderful, wonderful people. Went to lunch with them at Kralaka's and got to hear their story, and they're doing very well. They have 2 other stylists in Richardson Barber and Salon, and they're looking for 2 more stylists. So go ahead and book, whether it's male or female, go ahead and book your appointment today. Richardson Barber and Salon in Clinton. World Barber Day. Working Parents Day. I'm a working parent. What else do we have here? Nothing really.
I like World Barber Day, though, man.
I do, too.
Every man, I mean, you have to have a good barber.
You know, I'm bald, but you can do all kinds of shaves and different things, but they do all the things that females need as far as stylist.
Right.
And then they can give you, a great cut and shave and so on the dude side. So Richardson Barber and Salon in Clinton on World Barber Day. Nice. I can and BB King's birthday. So that's cool. Somebody here, Bo KW on the Golden Moon Casino text line. Who's better, Auburn, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, or Mizzou? Who's better out of that group? Well, I look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Mississippi State has it all figured out. Tip of the cap to Jeff Levy and Mark Butler and Mike McIntyre and Paul Rhodes and many others. Yeah. For being 3-0, you've done what you're supposed to do.
Correct.
And you have a chance to go 4-0 this weekend. And I can't believe it, but I wasn't sure if you were even going to have. Yeah, I thought maybe you'd have one maybe SEC team in play, and now I'm watching these teams play and realize that there's just a lot of meh. And if you are coached well and continue to just get a little bit better, you're going to have more than one SEC game in play and could have up to 3 or 4, believe it or not. In fact, Texas, I can't believe I'm saying this. Texas at home could very well be in play in a few weeks. But look, I got to give the nod to Auburn, Vandy, and Mizzou. I'm not saying that Mississippi State has checked all the boxes. If Jeff can get to 5 or 6, he can continue this thing on and continue to add talent. It looks like they did a damn good job in the portal. They actually look like an SEC team. Now, look, they don't have players that are jumping off the screen at me by any stretch. Now, I like Brennan Thompson. I like Fluff.
Still in wait-and-see mode, though.
But the Arizona State win. So there was a lot of pushback on the Arizona State win from other people in the state or maybe whatever. Now, obviously, like Pat McAfee and Scott Van Pelt and all these people went crazy over it. But celebrate it, talk about it, brag about it, and you beat a team that people ranked. Hey, they ranked them. You didn't do it. A bunch of other people hyped Arizona State, Kenny Dillingham and Jordan Tyson. Am I on? All right. Yeah. And Jordan Tyson and so on. So, but no, I don't think that they still, it's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
But you're doing some good things and you're 3-0 and you should be excited. You haven't had anything to be excited about since Mike Leach passed away, and you should be excited. And look, there were people who were like, oh, you shouldn't have stormed the field. You storm the field whenever the hell you want. You do what you want to do. You define who you are. Okay, your town is fun. It's got a cool vibe. It's growing. It's awesome. Your campus is beautiful and actually spread out. It's not stacked on top of each other. You've built 10 more dorms than anybody else in the state, any other college or university in the state of Mississippi. All right, you just unveiled another one. Your freshman students stay in Ritz-Carlton, Taj Mahal type, damn near condos. My kids went through, those dorms. And you got a lot of good stuff going. Your Starkville Country Club just spent $12 million. Place is beautiful. $12 million. It's unbelievable. Wendy and I just had dinner there 2 Fridays ago. It's amazing. The pool was already amazing. You spent God knows how much on that. And it was already the nicest one in the state. You've spent a fortune on the golf course, and you just totally rebuilt the whole clubhouse and bar and 19th hole and pro shop. So you got a lot of fun things going on, and you're winning a little bit. Nothing jumps out at me as far as like players other than Camario. But here's what I think. It's still early, and both Mississippi State and Ole Miss need to get a little bit better this weekend with the opponents they're facing in Northern Illinois and Tulane before it gets real as you host LSU and Tennessee. But you should be excited.
Yeah, like what are some of the things you need
You're
to do? You're
3-0. You've done what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
In this weekend, if you don't drop your guard, you go to 4-0. You have 8 games left. What can you do?
You do that, then you got the biggest game in the program in the past decade.
Well, I think that's a little overboard, but it is a big game at 4-0 hosting Tennessee.
Why?
Why? Well, I think 2015 you had a huge year. 2017 you had a huge year. So you've had some other really, really big wins and big games at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the...
But I like the fact that you went extreme because that's how you are. And it will be a big game. It was announced that you'll go at 3:15 on the SEC network. If Tennessee would have won,
oh man,
no telling. But I love the 3:15 time slot. Ole Miss will play 2:30, right? Yeah, 2:30 LSU. So again, they'll kick off at right about the same time both this weekend and next weekend. And I thought Ole Miss may get game day, but it sure looks like Bama at Georgia is going to be the sauce and the sizzle. The game day thing going to Miami tells me they were determined to spread it around a little bit.
Yeah.
And let me look at their schedule. They don't really host anybody.
No.
So that's it. So the reason why we've got game day in Miami is I guess their big win over Notre Dame early. And Florida is going to Miami this weekend, and they're 1-2, but they don't have any other. Louisville at home, Stanford at home, who's awful, Syracuse at home, and NC State at home is just not a lot of sizzle. So I guess they thought we're going to do this now.
Yeah, we're here
because we can't go to an SEC campus every weekend.
Right.
I mean, probably should, right? Because now that everything with the SEC is housed under the Disney, ESPN, SEC network bubble, because we're no longer on CBS, they probably should go to an SEC campus every weekend, but they decided to go the U and Miami. I assume they're just going to set up outside the stadium, even though they're 1,000,000 miles from campus. I don't think they're going to set up on Coral Gables.
I don't think so.
And then move to the stadium eventually. I mean, not that many people have to go to the stadium other than Herb Street and Fowler, but I don't know, something to think about. I know what I'm thinking about. Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line next. All right, Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 1059 The Zone. Your next video wall for your school, your business, your arena is powered by Sound and Communications. SoundComAV.com. Video walls are cool, and you want them for your lobby, arena, stadium, or school. SoundComAV.com. Mike D, little bit of a wild game there for y'all on Saturday night as DJ Lagway kept throwing it to your team. But 5 picks later, the LSU offense, I thought that they would, look a little bit better, but a win's a win. Were you surprised that they couldn't generate more points in offense with all the turnovers?
I thought this would be a low-scoring game, to be honest with you. I've seen really nothing from LSU offensively for me to believe that they would be a high-scoring team. So I thought this would be a low-scoring game, and it sort of turned out that way. The 5 picks were surprising, but, man, Blake Baker threw him a lot of different looks, confused Lagway a lot. They were able to get some pressure on him. And, for LSU, again, we talked about this over the last couple months, that the secondary is the most improved area on this football team from a year ago. They went out and get Mansour Delane at corner from Virginia Tech as a transfer. He's looked like he's the best cornerback that's been here at LSU since Stingley, and that's no question about that. P.J. Woodland, I think, is a good football player on the other side. Now, he probably weighs about 160 pounds soaking wet, but, man, he's a good cover guy. And then you have the freshman, D.J. Pickett, number 1 rated cornerback in the country, who came up with an interception also. And their safeties, they're both starting safeties are transfers. Halsey was a transfer guy from Houston. You got a transfer from North Carolina State. Deshaun Spears was here last year and saw playing time. But, again, this is a new-look secondary for LSU, and they got it done. And ball hits the hands, they catching it. That's the one thing in the past. Maybe it might have been a knockdown or a drop, but now they're coming up with an interception. I think what Blake Baker has done with the defense is really telling.
Yeah.
And being able to get a lot of pressure from the front unit, drop 6 to 7 in coverage, and Lagway was confused a lot, and you could tell just by the way he was throwing the football. A couple of times it looked as though he was just trying to throw it away, and it gets picked off. But offensively, they've really had nothing they can really hang their hat on. The running game's been erratic. The passing game, I think there's still some work there, certainly to be done with Nussmeier and some new pieces there with Barrion Brown from Kentucky, Nick Anderson from Oklahoma, Bauer Sharp, the tight end from Oklahoma, and an injury to Trey'Dez Green, who was a big part of their offense. An offensive line, you got 5 new starters. So, no, it didn't really surprise me at all that this would be a low-scoring game. It did surprise me that Lagway had played a big part in kind of handing them that many turnovers in a football game. He turned the football over 5 times. Come on, you're not winning nothing. And these games have always been close. It's one of the better underrated rivalries in college football.
Yeah.
LSU, Florida. Some of the best games I've seen. I've been to LSU, Florida, to be honest with you.
Sure. Well, were you so a win's a win, as you know, Mike D. And as Brian Kelly told us after the game, were you surprised at the back and forth with Brian Kelly and the media guy? And then were you surprised that Brian Kelly came out after getting mad about it and said what he said yesterday, Mike D?
Brian's a bit of an actor. Come on. People have figured that out long ago. That pounding on the fist that he did against US when they lost to USC, this sort of kind of snap. Come on, they all are. Every coach up there, he's got a bit of an actor in him, and so it's Brian Kelly being Brian Kelly. Didn't surprise me at all that he would react that way. And Brian always has a bit of an edge to him as a coach, but no, really didn't at all. The same guy, and we've had him on a few times, but, if you meet up with you somewhere, man, I'd love to come on with you guys at WWL. Just give me a call anytime. And we probably have him on maybe 4 times in the last 2 years.
Wow.
So, it's the actor. It's the actor. That's great. Hey, I get it. That's just kind of part of who he is as a coach. And so you accept it, that he's going to have that every once in a while, that little bit of a tirade, and then, everything's good.
Yeah, I was surprised that he walked it back a little bit. But were you in?
Because he didn't mean it. He didn't mean it in the first place. I think this is him trying to protect his offensive team. All coaches try to protect their own guys.
Good grief, yes.
Okay, that's the deal. He's trying to protect his offense. He knew his defense and his special teams, and especially his punter, Chadwick, really won that game for him. Really, really did. And so he's trying to protect his offense. And, I guess for him, he just went a little over the top. And so for him to apologize to Michael Cobble, Michael's a good dude. He asked a question most guys in that press conference would have asked. Most people would have asked him at that point. And, Brian just sort of lost it a little bit. But again, you got to understand the guy. Before he even came here, I was told by numerous people that had covered him at Notre Dame, hey, wait, get ready, because he's got that little bit of an actor in him that he'll get mad at certain things and then sort of play it back off. That's just
hothead.
He's been as scripted.
Okay. Well, okay, the flip side is he's winning. And so do you think that this weekend you got another warm-up game, and then the drill, you go to Oxford, in which will be a wild game, and y'all have had some wild games against each other even the last couple of years. Do you think this offense, where do you think this offense can go eventually, Mike D?
It's certainly got to get better, and a lot of it has to do with line play. But, you think about, there are certain points where you're going to have to win a certain way. And LSU, for now, is going to have to win on their defense, on their special teams, and occasionally hitting a big play. That's how they're going to win. Can this offense evolve later on? Possibly. But there comes a point, Bo, where you are who you are. It's not going to get that much better. So can it get better? Yes. There's no question. And I think a lot of that has to do with offensive line play and giving Nussbaum better time and giving him an opportunity to hit a big play in the running game. For me, I would try to utilize more to have a blocking fullback to help in the running game. Jack Pyburn, who was a defensive end on that big running play, Jack was the lead blocker. Okay, they didn't have a tight end or a fullback. It was their starting edge defensive end, and Pyburn was in there blocking. I would maybe think a little bit of that because LSU's been known to run the football pretty well throughout the years. And they haven't gotten it done with just the 5 up front. You might need that extra blocker. And if that means maybe Bauer Sharp playing more in the fullback position, we'll see what happens. Kelly did sort of mention that a little bit, not trying to give everything away. And I don't think you'll see it this week against Southeastern, but I wouldn't be surprised he tries that against Ole Miss. And, man, they're going to need to put up some points more so offensively, because not every game you're going to get 5 interceptions, Bo. Come on. No team's going to just hand it over like that week in, week out. You're going to have to be able to generate more offensively. But you are who you are. And at this stage, they are a defensive team that has good special teams. Their offense has been all over the board.
Mike Detillier talking LSU Tigers, and we'll get LSU at Ole Miss, not this weekend, but next weekend. And we could have some more fireworks as we see that shake out. Mike Detillier on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. This is 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. So is Brian Kelly popular, not popular? People are indifferent. Where is everybody there? Mike D?
When he's out on the field, he's good. When he doesn't win, he doesn't fit. That's how people feel. Bo, I think that's kind of part of it too. You had a guy from Louisiana that was here, and he was popular, okay, and he wins a national championship. There's no more Louisiana guy than Ed Orgeron, but when Coach O didn't win, guess what? He was unpopular.
Right.
So at LSU, that's a certain standard. They want you to win. And, 8 or 9 games ain't going to cut it, okay? They want you to win double digits. They want you to be in the college playoffs. And that's how you popular. That's how you popular here. Les was the most unique personality I've ever seen on a head coach. You ask him a question, and he tell you something that don't have anything to pertain to it. I mean, nothing. I mean, he really was the only other guy I saw like that was Hank Stram. And Hank Stram, he's in Pro Football's Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But you could ask Coach Stram a specific question, and he would lead you down a path that had absolutely nothing to do with the question you asked. Nothing. And, Les was the same way. Coach Miles won with a certain style of football that he wanted. He wanted to play great defense. He wanted to run the ball. The passing game, he didn't really care too much about that. Every year he'd say, I'm changing. Never really did. So, but when you win, you popular here in Louisiana.
Sure.
But when you're not, then you're not popular. And, there's, people, when you get paid over $10 million a year or whatever it is that Brian Kelly's making, they expect you to win and win big. And that Ole Miss game is going to be a huge game.
Oh, my gosh.
Again, you look over the last couple of years, there have been some great games between those two teams of how they've struck it. I still, to me, Deuce McAllister and I talk about this all the time. How the hell they lost last year?
I don't know.
Ole Miss was the better team out on the field, and somehow, LSU was able to tie that game, bring it in overtime, and, Nuss throws it. God bless him. Kyron Lacey catches that ball in the end zone, and it's over. It was it. And you're like, how did they win? Because Ole Miss clearly looked like the better team, and yet couldn't pull it off. And then the year before, we think about, the Jaden Daniels deal. And that was a crazy game where, man, the lead changed back and forth. And at the end of the game, Daniels throws a strike in the end zone, and it hit Chris Hilton in a bad place, right between his hands. And he drops, and the defender hits him, and he drops it. So, it's been some great games between Ole Miss, LSU, and I expect it'll be another one. But this time, while some of these games have been high-scoring throughout the years, I'm not real sure we're going to see that. I think we'll see a very exciting football game, but I think it won't be as high-scoring as we've seen in the past. And now the intrigue of the two quarterbacks at Ole Miss.
Right.
And how do you combat that and which one you catch. And, is Isaiah healthy? And Tulane finds out this week, because I think Tulane's a good football team. They got a superstar head coach in John Summerall. They got a superstar coach. But they're a good team. Man, do they have enough offensively? Because their passing game has really been erratic. It's Tulane Tuesday, so I have Coach Summerall on with me every Tuesday, and he's brought that up about we got to do better in the pitch and catch part of the game. But, he loves to run the ball. That's his deal, and none of us thought that Jake Ratzloff could run the ball like he has at Tulane. He didn't run the ball that well at BYU. He did a little bit, but not that well. And he was terrific against Duke. Also, their defense has given up some big plays. That drives Summerall up the wall. But that'll be an interesting game this weekend. Just psychologically, you played a tough game against Arkansas, and their defense is lousy. But Ole Miss was able to come out of there with a backup quarterback, and he did a damn good job.
He did.
And you got LSU staring at them, next week. So I think Tulane can keep this close. I still think, Ole Miss is the better team. They have more talent on that team, but you getting kind of caught in a spot here. You wonder a little bit about how it's going to go down between the two. And the one thing I'm just telling you, John Summerall, he's going to have a really good game plan against Ole Miss. Does he have enough horses in the barn to win it, so to speak?
All right. Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans. He joins us on the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone ESPN, driven by your next GMC Yukon at Fowler GMC, Pearl Brandon. We talked LSU. They got another good win against Florida. It doesn't matter how it looks. Bottom line is W, advance. And they'll play Southeast this weekend, and then they go to Oxford, which will be wild. Now, so as far as LSU's offense, you do believe that there's more there, because you talked about the wide receivers in the offseason and the talent there, and we know that Nussmeier can play. He may not be great, but he's good. You still feel like there's an opportunity for them to improve and get a lot better, Mike D?
I think they can get better, but, I look at it. Where's Chris Hilton been? All offseason, that's all we've heard about. Chris Hilton's been the Witness Protection Agency as far as being a contributor for the Tigers as a big play receiver. He hasn't really done what I think Brian Kelly thought it would happen. In fact, this week he made a point of interest is we have to get Chris Hilton more involved offensively. Okay. So my thing is, what happened against Florida? You didn't try to get him involved in that game. It's puzzling because, Bo, I think most people feel like what you do, there should be more to it. And yet it has not come together yet. Will that happen? Probably. How it happens and when it happens is the question mark. But that's way too much individual talent for them not to be a better team on the offensive side of football.
Mm-hmm.
And that always tells me when you're not doing that, a lot of that has to do with what you have up front along the offensive line.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. What were you more impressed with? Georgia at Tennessee and Georgia winning, or A&M at Notre Dame and A&M winning?
I'm going to say A&M. Man, Georgia got a lot of heart to fight back. That was a lot of adversity in that game. And they were able to fight back and end up winning that football game. But, Georgia has dominated that series against Tennessee.
Right.
You look at it through over the last 7 or 8 years, they've been a dominant team against them. And the games haven't been close. This was at least a really close game. Tennessee's going to look back and say, how did we lose this game? how did we lose it? It's almost like the Ole Miss LSU game of a year ago. Okay, we had so many things go right for us, and then you had a few things go wrong, and poof, it's gone. A&M, hostile territory, winning that game was impressive. And, again, you had to have a few things go right, and no matter what, people don't believe this, but it's true. In life, you got to have a little bit of luck. Okay, people say, well, you make your own luck. They full of, what? Sometimes you got to have a little bit of luck. And A&M had a little bit of luck in that game. They fought back. You had a blotched extra point, and then be able to come back and hit a fourth down play to win that game. A&M showed a lot of heart in that football game. They've got some talent on the offensive side of football. I think with Elko, he sort of mentioned this a few times in the offseason about, I don't know how we're going to play on defense. And that's his baby. Okay, that's his side of the ball. But offensively, man, they can. They've got speed that is eye-catching at wide receiver and in the return game. And man, Reed at quarterback, he showed a lot of poise in a very difficult place to play, and ended up with the W there. So I was more impressed with what I saw with A&M with that big win over Notre Dame. And well, you talk about a guy that's kind of fallen from grace, Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
And okay, you lose 2 games the way they lost it. It's still staggering to me, the game plan that they had against Miami of Florida. I never understood what they were trying to do offensively in that game. I know he's a defensive-oriented coach, but this game was a little bit different, that you kind of had it boxed up, and, man, it got away from you. And they may run this through, Bo. They may go the entire schedule and not lose another game, but, man, the first 2 games, you see some holes on that Notre Dame team, and surprisingly, on defense.
Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans. LSU and Ole Miss getting ready for the big matchup. Not this weekend, but next weekend. Mike D, we appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Bo. Appreciate it.
At Mike Detillier on Twitter. He's the best. Brought to you by Sound and Communications. For your next video wall, for your business, your school, your hospital lobby, or your conference room, or your arena, or your gym, powered by Sound and Communications. SoundComAV.com. We've got some great texts that we need to hit on the other side.
Say, kids, what time is it?
It's 9 a.m., and this ain't no kiddie show. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds.
All aboard!
As Mississippi's #1 morning show rolls on the Zone 105.9 and online at thezone1059.com.
Hey, good morning, good morning. We've got a cool giveaway. Love for you to jump in, get involved on the Golden Moon Casino text line, 601-885-3776. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Dogs and Rebs both play G5 opponents this weekend. Still got to be careful, especially Ole Miss with Tulane. Ole Miss is the better team between Ole Miss and Mississippi State. However, we don't know how that game's going to play out in a couple of months. But Ole Miss is playing a better opponent, Tulane and John Summerall. Mississippi State pulls Northern Illinois, who basically lost everybody from last year's team. People, talk about them beating Notre Dame, and it's a great win, but it's not the same team that beat Notre Dame. Mississippi State should handle business. You know that they'll be looking to Tennessee. Not just happened. And Ole Miss will be looking to LSU. It just happened. So because those two games, the next weekend, this state will be crazy. Both stadiums packed next weekend and all that. But let's get back to the giveaway, because this is fun. On the Golden Moon Casino text line, we need to hear from you. Are you listening on 105.9 The Zone, or are you streaming the show? Where are you listening from? Vicksburg, Gulfport, Atlanta, so on. And then who has the better win this year? Mississippi State against Arizona State, or Ole Miss at Kentucky, or Arkansas at home? The text line is 601-885-3776. Gator Matt says, don't let this guy fool you. LSU is not any good either. Well, that's probably a little extreme. Their defense has played well. Nussmeier made plays in the second half at Clemson. While Clemson isn't maybe what we thought they were, they still have players. They still have several that are going on to the NFL on the defensive side of the football. And you don't just go, I think we see week in, week out, you don't just go out and make plays. It's not as easy as we all want it to be when we're sipping on lemonade or an ice cold Michelob Ultra and hanging out with our friends. We're doing nothing except grabbing a nacho, right? Or a slider. So I'm not going to, no, LSU, no one in the league is dominant. And I'm not sure that they're going to be. Post-COVID, it's been a great time to win in the league. We've got a handful of teams that recruit at a high level that really haven't been good for a while. And so we'll see how this new look of spreading all the talent out, we'll see where it takes us. We still need a couple more cycles to really figure that. And maybe it'll just be not chaos, but crazy forever. I do love it when I hear the people that are like, well, I just don't like college football anymore. Really? The ratings are through the roof. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, are you watching Bonanza on Saturday? I mean, whatever. It's fine with me. But the numbers through 3 weeks are off the charts. Breaking records. And this weekend, we've got some big games. I mean, Auburn and Oklahoma will be a big number. Big number. As far as, we know the stadium will be packed in Norman, but that there will be plenty of people watching the game.
What time's that ball game?
It's 2:30.
2:30?
Yeah.
That's going to be a heater.
It's got the potential to be a ton of fun.
No doubt.
Who
you like?
I like Oklahoma.
Really?
Yeah.
You like the 6.5?
No,
That's
I
ugly,
don't like
right?
that, but I like a field goal.
Okay.
I don't expect Freeze. And I thought Tom Luganville framed it up well. He said Jackson Arnold can't get caught up in the fact that he was there.
Great point.
You got to flush that and move on.
Correct. That's a tough thing to do, especially at that age, man.
No
That's
question. No doubt. It's tough to do it at any age.
Yeah, that's right.
When you walk in another place that maybe it didn't work out or
Right.
whatever, blah, blah, blah,
That's right.
So, but Hugh also wins big games. He may drop a game he shouldn't every now and then, which is almost every coach.
Right.
But Hugh wins big games. Hugh's the better head coach. It looks to me like Venables and them may have a little more juice being at home. But no, I'm not laying the 6.5.
Negative.
No. And man, if you caught it earlier with a little more juice on that,
Yeah, I don't know the open.
more power to you. Again, somebody asked Bo, is game day really at Miami? They are. They're going to Miami. Game day. I think they looked at it and they were like, are we going to be able to make it? Like, how many opportunities are we going to have to even go to an ACC game?
Well, that's exactly what they did.
And they looked at it and said, okay, Miami hasn't screwed up. Usually Cristobal, their head coach, for our listeners, Mario Cristobal, he likes to screw up a couple of times a year, which could very well happen this weekend. I would not be surprised whatsoever if Florida wins that game.
They had to get down there before he did that.
But it will be in Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. And I don't know the whole area. I just know how an Uber took us. But I've been out to that stadium like y'all have, and it's a long way. So I guess they'll I couldn't tell it was a night game. We didn't pregame out at the stadium. We were staying on South Beach. So we pregamed on South Beach.
Sure.
And then we took a ridiculous Uber ride out to out to Hard Rock Stadium where the Dolphins play.
And when you say ridiculous, like, what are we talking? We talking over under 45 minutes?
It was right around there.
Jeez.
But then getting home,
30. Yeah,
we weren't prepared. Neither was anybody else.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, getting out of there.
Getting out of there was hell. Now, because of the time, it was during the winter. And by the time we got out there, it was, I guess, dark or getting dark. It was a night game. I didn't see the development out there. So, I don't know if I figure if there's anything out there, it's kind of cheesy franchise stuff around the stadium.
Yeah.
Not like local stuff that you can get on South Beach or other areas. And we like local places here. But I wouldn't be surprised if Florida wins.
Man.
Yeah. And I will take the 7.5.
Talk about righting the ship real quick.
And I know DJ Lagway looked awful. I watched the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I could not believe what he and Napier were doing on the offensive side of the football and not giving it to their best player, who happens to be their running back. But they saw, I don't know. And then at the end, I mean, Lagway, man, a couple of those picks were bad
on him.
But that LSU secondary, or maybe it was on Napier and him, as Chris Doring said.
True.
Because Doring was like, why not? You were in the game. Like, you weren't 4 scores behind. Why not just run the football? The game was close. You were really, and you were throwing the ball down the field like you were down 28 points, which was weird. Like throwing the ball way down the field. Instead of, hey, let's run the ball and maybe let's just do a little dinking and dunking and getting him comfortable.
Ground and pound.
But it's easy for me to say. I was just hanging out on the couch watching the game.
You're doing your part.
Twitter X at Bo Bounds. And the Stella Artois caller line is 601-707-3750. Wings and Stella at Martins and Livingston this week for the games is a home run. All right, good morning. Welcome in to the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by Superior Foundation. For all your foundation repairs, Superior. Driveways, Superior Foundation. French drains, Superior Foundation. So, foundation repairs, superior.ms. Todd Sanders, Trey Pace will take care of your home. Superior Foundation for driveways and French drains and foundation repairs. All right. We're live in the Bank Plus studio, Out of Bounds 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. On the text line, some of you were asking about the coaches that we're talking about. Like the next one. Who's the next one? Is it John Summerall? Who's our next guy? Have we had a next guy since Dabo? Like somebody that comes out of nowhere. Urban Meyer kind of came out of nowhere, right? I mean, not everybody was tracking his career at Notre Dame as an assistant. Bowling Green as a head coach. I know he went undefeated at Utah, but this was even before Utah was in a Power 4 or 5 conference. All right? But that's still impressive. I mean, he won at Bowling Green. I'm impressed, whatever level you win at. He won at Utah. Lane Kiffin is one of the hottest coaches in the country. And Drinkwitz in our league, okay? But we mentioned John Summerall at Tulane, Brent Key at Georgia Tech. Golly, talking about some dude in him. And Brett Bielema at Illinois. I mean, yes, so on the text line, people were asking about coaches in the conference. I mean, Lane Kiffin's been one of the hottest coaches in college football for 5 years, okay? And Eli Drinkwitz is winning. I didn't have that on my bingo card either. Drinkwitz winning and winning, big. At Columbia, Missouri, I mean, they went through a rough time. Pinkel got sick in like 5 seconds. Then they had some other things, as y'all know, happen on campus that really hurt them. And it took them a minute.
Yeah.
And Drinkwitz comes in and he's winning. So we'll see. But those are 3. Look, now Kurt Cignetti at Indiana is unreal. I think he's one of those guys that was passed over a million. Look, it happens in life to men and women. You don't find, you're told on Instagram that it's easy to make $100,000 a month.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Somebody's cutting a video right now who's never made $100,000 a month.
Right.
But they're showing you how to do it. You're told it's easy. Somebody films themselves in a Lamborghini on South Beach and, all that. One thing that I tried to make a point of the last 22 years is, Saban didn't get his dream job until his late 40s. Mm-hmm. Okay, people forget that. He didn't get named at a phenomenal program at 33 years old. Saban did not get to LSU until his late 40s. Kurt Cignetti, who coached under Nick Saban, who I think may be a freak. He may be a savant with where nobody wanted to hire him. So he went to Indiana, Pennsylvania, not Indiana where he is.
That's crazy.
And James Madison, I didn't even know they played football. Okay. Of course, what Old Dominion did to Virginia Tech is illegal in 49 states this past weekend. I didn't know they played football. No. I knew they played baseball because Pat McMahon left Mississippi State in 1990 after the College World Series to take the Old Dominion head baseball coach to then come back and be the coach in waiting at Mississippi State. So I did know they played baseball. I did not know they played football.
What?
But Kurt Cignetti is in his 60s. He's still fully functional for a long time. Because, again, a lot of these guys work out, take care of themselves, don't overeat, all that stuff. But I don't know if he can. Now, we had an agent listening to the show earlier, and I love when this happens. We got a couple of them that float in and out of our world, and it's been good to know them over the years. And he said, Bo, I heard you talking about Kurt Cignetti at Indiana. And somebody mentioned Willie Fritz, who's in his 60s and in great shape at Houston. And, you know, John Summerall at Tulane is young, and Brent Key at Georgia Tech is young, and Brett Bielema is not old at Illinois, okay? But if you want to talk about who could land like a Penn State, Florida level type job, or if Brian Kelly eventually gets
tired of it,
fed, you know, they can't figure it out, even though he's winning at LSU, and he go. I don't know where he would go though, because LSU's top 3 or 4 program in the country with Ohio State and Georgia and Texas, I guess. Just because of who you are, where you are, kind of your state, and so on. But I don't know if Kurt Cignetti will get another shot. But I agree with this guy, and he said in the NIL world, age is less an issue because everything is transactional. It's a great point. It is a great point. Everything is transactional now. Your whole team, you may get 30 new players a year, 40 new players a year, 50 new players a year or more. You don't have to sell kids on having a 4 to 6 year contract for your head coach, because they're sitting there thinking, I'm here, I may be gone, I may stay. But John Summerall is a future star. I think Brent Key's a future star. And while Georgia Tech is his alma mater, watch out. It would probably be somewhat difficult to leave Atlanta and Georgia Tech. And I get that he played offensive line there, and I think he's a great story and a phenomenal coach. He kind of trying to figure out who Brent Key at Georgia Tech reminds me of. Former offensive lineman, maybe a younger Bielema. But I don't know if Cignetti's going to get a shot, but he may.
Who gets a shot first?
Summerall
Cignetti or Bielema?
Who?
If it was Cignetti or Bielema, who gets a shot first?
Bielema.
Really? I would say because of the pedigree in the past.
I don't know, though. They play each other this weekend.
They do.
So Illinois and Indiana is actually 2 of the better coaches in the country who are winning at difficult places to win.
That's incredible.
That's where we're impressed. When somebody goes to Georgia Tech and wins, we're impressed. You go to Tulane and win, we're impressed. You go to Indiana, who doesn't care, hey, okay, cool. And you go to Champaign, Illinois, that they haven't won in 25 years, and you win. So when you do that, that's cool. You know, what's happened to Virginia Tech since Beamer left? Disaster. Bill Snyder at Kansas State.
Disaster.
You know, I mean, I know they've got a good coach, but he's not winning like Snyder did, and they look real shaky this year. But I mean, he's not going anywhere. He's won some games.
They'll never win like that again.
Texas Tech hasn't won until this year, and it's still early. Texas Tech hasn't won since Leach left.
Yeah.
Even Tommy Tuberville couldn't go in there and win. Cliff Kingsbury couldn't win with Patrick Mahomes in a league that doesn't believe in playing defense. And yet Kingsbury is a hell of a play caller. But when it came to running the whole thing and getting everything going in the right direction, it didn't work. It didn't work at Texas Tech. And they're one of the top recruiters in the league. So I think it's something to think about. I can't wait to see who the next person is. But put Lane and Drinkwitz in there too. They're winning at Ole Miss in Missouri and doing a hell of a job. So I look at Lane and Drinkwitz as far as guys that aren't at Blue Bloods either.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they're not.
Because there's nowhere else to go for Sark or Kirby. I mean, let's go to the NFL. But you know what I mean. There's nowhere to go in college football for Brian Kelly, Sark, or Kirby, or DeBoer. Oh, goodness. The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by Taste Italian Kitchen in the Renaissance and Starkville. From the bolognese to the wood-fired pizzas to the delicious cocktails. Calamari. Ooh, I need some calamari in my life from Taste Italian Kitchen. Oh, man. TasteItalianKitchen.com. You're going to have a reservation. They're packed. Unless you go mid-afternoon or like, I guess, maybe right at 11 a.m. Good luck with that. I snuck in there the other day. There was one bar stool left. Okay. I guess they had saved it for me. And I'll say this, that they call it the world famous meatball, and it's an appetizer. It's delicious. That's what I would go with off the, well, there's three. Yeah. There's several that are really good, but I'd go the world famous meatball appetizer is insane. You can eat that for lunch. It's great. I just had that for lunch the other day. The fried ravioli is fabulous. And the calamari is really, really good.
Yeah, you're missing the crab cake, man.
Oh, yeah.
Crab
You
cake.
mentioned that last week to me.
Incredible.
I haven't had it in a minute. You are right. I love a good crab
Me
cake
too.
when it's done right. No question.
Tell you who else has a really good one?
Who?
Mom and Them's.
Oh, yeah.
Heater crab cake.
That's right. Dilfer got that. When I had, that's funny you say that.
He reminds
When
me of
I
crab
had
cake.
dinner with Trent Dilfer, he threw in the crab cake as an appetizer.
He reminds
at
me
Mom
of
and
crab
M's.
cake, honestly.
Okay.
He's going to need a few more of those. I think he's a...
They're 2-1.
They are 2-1. Hey.
They pull a brutal draw this weekend.
Yeah.
They play Tennessee. But so that's a paycheck game.
Yeah.
To make sure the athletic department stays open.
That's right.
But we'll see if he can win enough games to continue his time at UAB. I hope he can. I enjoyed hanging out with him. I get that he's a handful, but aren't we all? The Golden Moon Casino text line is 601-885-3776. TasteItalianKitchen.com to make a reservation. Starkville or Renaissance. It's fabulous. We were talking about linguine earlier, and you've got that vodka rigatoni. You've got all kinds of bolognese, all kinds of fun things going on there at Taste Italian Kitchen. Show is also brought to you by RPT and Rick's Pro Trucks, spray and bed liners, lift kits, tires, and wheels. RPT. Trucks live here, 3 locations in the metro. Don't forget that Casey, the manager in Gluckstadt, Madison County, is a big Notre Dame fan. So if you have any Miami gear or A&M gear, wear it in Rick's Pro Truck in Gluckstadt the next week or so. I highly recommend it. Let's do some audio on Dak Prescott. So we're going to go through a couple of things here. We're going to switch gears. I just went in, the coaches that could be hot,
Next.
and I mean hot, not on the hot seat, but the next one. Right. We talked about those guys. All right. Some good feedback on the text line. Dak Prescott's played well the first 2 games of the season. Cowboys are 1-1. And this is Brian Schottenheimer talking about Dak Prescott and his play.
It's just, that's developed over time, and that's Dak having confidence in CD. And, again, I say this all the time. When you watch a quarterback, and Babe, you could speak to this, watch their back foot. When their back foot is firm and loaded, or when they're taking tight hitches to the target, they're seeing things well and they're confident. When they're loose on their back foot, or they're kind of skidding through their drop and they're feeling things, or they're not sure, they're confused a little bit. And I would say his footwork grade over the past 2 weeks has been over 85%, which is really high. So I think it goes to his footwork and the fact he's just really confident right now. He's playing with confidence and he's playing firm on his back foot. It's just, All
right, that was Brian Schottenheimer, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, talking about Dak Prescott. And the first week, they had 6 drops. CD didn't play well. They come back this week. They had a wild game with the New York Giants. Russell Wilson was cooking and just absolutely shredding the Dallas Cowboys secondary. Dak was shredding the Giants secondary. And it just ended up, there was one point in the last 2 minutes, I thought the Cowboys had won it. Then I thought Russ and them had won it. And then Dak and then led them down to tie it up and go into overtime.
Nuts.
And then they went back and forth. And Dak completed a pass, 14-yarder, boom, they kicked the field goal, which was cool. Brandon Aubrey,
Money.
he was a software engineer. So he was a soccer player.
Right.
He got drafted by Toronto FC. Lasted about 5 minutes.
Jeez.
Okay. And so he's just going to be a dude like you or me. He's going to go out and hopefully build a career. And his wife is watching the red zone and she's watching people kick field goals. She's like, you can do that. I mean, this is insane.
That's awesome, though.
But this is so cool, the stories that we hear in America and some other places, but especially here. Okay. So his wife is watching the red zone and she's like, hey, I'm watching these guys kick field goals. You can do that. He just kicked a 64-yarder against the New York Giants on Sunday in the NFL, getting paid an enormous amount of money. He's going to kick for a while.
Oh, yeah.
He is going to make, he's already made good money. He's going to make millions of dollars to kick field goals and kickoffs, which is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that software company, they can wait. Because he can kick for a while and make a ton of money.
My gosh.
I know.
I mean, I go back to the thing. We talked about Logan Cook a few weeks ago, but the thing is, like, I'd love to be a punter in practice or a kicker in practice.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you set your own schedule. You do your own thing. Ain't nobody
That's
coaching
perfect for you.
Yeah.
Because you have no schedule.
I don't.
You know, you're kind of all over the place.
Yep.
You don't really believe in, what would I say, locking in?
I'm locked in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like half the time the last couple of weeks, you've been working on kickball during the week.
Yeah, I can't, man.
I wouldn't be working on kickball during the week, but like at night and on the weekend, yeah.
Nah, man, that's a moneymaker. I got to work.
Are you making money? Okay.
We don't do it for free.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Oh, no, that's a big, man, we got 11 sponsors.
Okay.
Yeah, we made some money this year.
La League?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Whatever.
Well, we got to pay for this T-shirts and do this and do that. We like to treat the league to a nice league.
That sounds like a waste of time to me.
No.
Okay. It does.
ROI.
I mean, I think, what is that ROI?
It's pretty nice.
Oh, okay. So you're getting a salary to be the commissioner.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, then that sounds good. The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by Juniker Jewelry Store. They've been posting engagement rings. Look great. Juniker Jewelry Store right here in Madison on Highland Colony. Go by, and if you're looking for a bracelet, earrings, necklace, or engagement rings, Juniker Jewelry Store right there in Highland Village. Somebody asked if my numbers on Arch Manning were correct. Yes, they are.
The 10.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I wondered as well. That's a tough number to swallow.
They are accurate. Arch Manning missed on 10 straight passes in the first half. One of them was an interception. In 3 games, Arch Manning is completing 55% of his passes, averaging 6.7 yards per attempt. So he's completing 55% of his passes. Have I totally given up on him? No. Do I think that things need to turn pretty quick? Yeah, because of all the talent that you have around you, and Sark, like Lane, is considered a top 10 play caller on the offensive side of the football. That would be Steve Sarkisian, who is not only the head coach, but is the OC for the Texas Longhorns.
How long can you allow him to do this and develop?
I don't know.
Because Texas, they just have
So
the next man up could be.
Oh, yeah, they've got a big-time guy behind him.
Yeah.
Sam Houston, they play this weekend. So you need to be on fire. I mean, you need to be 15 and 19, and then they relieve you from the game. But 11 for 24 with 10 straight misses in the first half against UTEP and against Sam Houston, you don't need to be doing that.
I'd play him through the third quarter. The kid needs a confidence boost.
Then they take a week off and they go to Florida. And I know Florida's not winning, but they have players.
Yeah.
I must continue to say that.
Yeah.
Florida gets a week off, too, before Texas. We'll see if Florida's going to get right against Miami this weekend. I could see Cristobal dropping this game.
Absolutely.
Just totally screwing this up after Florida threw five, DJ Lagway and Napier didn't look right, and they threw 5 picks, and they looked I actually couldn't believe that they looked that bad. It was almost like I was watching a dream.
Fever dream. But to be fair, they turned the ball over 5 times, only lost by 10.
Right. No, LSU's offense didn't do what they were supposed to do, but Florida's defense is good.
They are good.
I know they're not winning.
They're fine though.
They have players. They have big dudes, athletic guys, talented guys, so on.
That you don't have the line on that game right there, do you?
Yeah.
What you got for the
for which one?
For Miami.
Yeah. Miami's laying 7.5.
Whoa.
I'll take the points.
Jeez.
Yeah. I'll take the points. Would have maybe loved to have gotten it earlier, but I'll take them.
Wow.
Yeah. You may do a both.
I'd take
you may take and go money line. Yeah.
Man.
And hey, if I'm wrong, let me know on Twitter at Bo Bounds on Saturday. At Bo Bounds on Twitter. Would love for you to follow us on Twitter. We have some fun on there. And hell, Arkansas is only a 7.5 point favorite over Memphis. And they're playing in Liberty Bowl Stadium. Oh, goodness gravy.
Worse.
Now, I love FedEx Arena.
That's the best.
Fantastic.
Dope.
Great venue. We went last December to the Mississippi State Memphis. Was that last December or the December before? I think it was last December, but I can't remember. Anyway, we went to FedEx Forum, and I'd been there to some Grizzlies games, but we went to watch the Dogs and the Tigers play, and man, it was fantastic. That's a great venue. But Arkansas is only a 7.5 point favorite over Memphis. Just something to keep an eye on as we march into the weekend, and you may be looking at some value, or you may be running from some of these games that we're mentioning. Somebody asked about Florida. I think it's institutional. Like Lugan Bill said, and we've hit on, why can't Florida win? They've had good coaches go down there. Jim McElwain can coach. May not be great, but he can coach. Dan Mullen, he is a good coach.
Right.
Dan may not be great, but he can win. Okay? And Billy Napier did a hell of a job at Lafayette or Louisiana.
He can win.
And he hasn't been able to get it going. To me, it's Florida. It's but I don't know what it is when I say it's institutional. Right. What is going on? I don't know.
You think they know?
That's a good question.
Because that's where I would go. That's a tough thing to know. If you're not, I don't even know how you would know that, honestly. They're it's been like that for so long.
Post Urban Meyer has been Dan started off 31-9.
Right.
He had that one bad season, and they decided to let him go. My question is, why did Jim McElwain lose his mind and they let him go? Well, Will Muschamp tried to win. He had 1 year where they were great on defense, terrible on offense. He won 11 games, went 11-2, played Charlie Strong and somebody, Louisville, in the Sugar Bowl.
Right.
McElwain couldn't get it going. He had one good year. Mullen had more than one good year. I think he went back to back New Year's Day bowl games back there. And then the 1 year they let him go after one bad year. Now you have Billy Napier. It's been a struggle. Then you thought they turned the corner last year with the 5 straight wins. And now this year they're doing what they're doing. But they could go to Miami and win and beat Texas at home. That would not surprise me. The way their roster is constructed. that they have players that can run and hit and so on.
Yeah.
Now, can they get it together? Is everybody going to check out? I don't know. It's still early in the season. We thought that they had lost their mojo last year. They came back and ripped off 5 straight wins. Will it be difficult to win this weekend? Sure. Carson Beck can play a little bit. Miami looks pretty damn good on defense. And Mario Cristobal, along with Dan Lanning and probably Kirby Smart and Sark, best recruiters in the country. And they've got brands behind them, too. Okay?
Helps.
Kirby Smart at Georgia, Dan Lanning at Oregon, Sark at Texas, and Mario Cristobal at Miami. But he's one of the warlords. I mean, he's one of the top 3 or 4 closers in the country. And again, to me, a refined Ed Ogeron. But both struggle on game day coaching. And it's not easy. I mean, that's okay. You just need to have someone.
To do it
Everybody
for you.
has 75 people on staff. Find someone to help you through it.
Delegate.
I'm good at this. I can go get 5 stars. I can go get a bunch of 4 stars. Kids like playing for me. They relate to me. That's all good. There's a toughness component. There's the right energy and toughness in the program. Figure out some people who can figure it out for you on game day. But I wouldn't be surprised if Florida beats Miami, takes a week off, and beats Texas at home. All right. We are the Out of Bounds Show, and let's talk a little underdog, baby. Here's what I like about underdog. It's simple. It's fun. It turns any game into a chance to win. You don't have to worry about managing a fantasy lineup all season long. Instead, you just pick higher or lower on players, stat totals, and enjoy the ride. I've been playing for a while now, and honestly, the thrill when your guy hits that number is unmatched. Makes every catch, every run, every throw feel like it matters. Tonight, I'm checking out Dodgers-Phillies, and I'm rolling with Shohei Ohtani for higher than 9.5 fantasy points. And here's the kicker. Get your picks right. You could win up to 5,000 times your cash with entry starting at just $1. That's why Underdog is the move. Head over to UnderdogFantasy.com and make your plays today.
Download the app today and sign up with promo code OUTOFBOUNDS to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code OUTOFBOUNDS. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 and older and present in Mississippi. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Big, tall drink of water, quarterback can really hum it downfield.
Is that Arch Manning? Is he going to turn it around? If you had to bet $100, 5 weeks from now, is Arch Manning on fire? They figured it out. You know, he's playing at a pretty high level. Or is he struggling, or they've made a change it for the Texas Longhorns?
Won't they be in the thick of things by then, though?
Oh,
I mean,
this
heat, right?
This thing heats up here.
Yeah.
I'll give you their run starting in a couple of weeks. All right.
All right.
At Florida,
When's that start? It's in 2 weeks.
October 4th.
Okay,
Yeah. All right. So October 4th at Florida. That is not a gimme.
No.
Oklahoma on a neutral field.
Whew.
Oklahoma may be the best team in the conference this year. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Absurd.
At Kentucky. I know they're not any good, but
Still
you
not a
can't
gimme.
bumble around on the road. At Mississippi State. You can't. Last year, you could have come in and just mailed it in.
Absolutely.
This year, Mississippi State may not be really good, but you can't just come into Starkville and mail it in.
I agree.
It's not happening. They've got some players.
That's crazy.
Vanderbilt at home.
That ain't a gimme.
Diego Pavia doesn't care what the name of your school is on the front. He doesn't care.
No.
He came from nothing, rode the bus out in the middle of nowhere in the West, in the Mountain Time Zone, in JUCO football, and now he's playing for Vanderbilt and he's balling out. He does not care what the front of your uniform says. That was obvious last year when they beat the hell out of Bama.
Right.
All right. Then they play at Georgia.
Ouch.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Does Georgia have a week off before?
Oh, my gosh.
No, they don't.
They're going to make Arch look terrible.
Arkansas at home, and then A&M at home is not a gimme.
None of those are gimme.
Elko and they look. Mario Craver, who played at Mississippi State last year, had 270 yards. It was something insane. As far as
he had him a day.
Yeah, he did. Mario Craver was big time for Texas A&M against Notre Dame, and his run. His yards after catch, yak, whatever you want to call them, were insane. And I just had him in front of me, and now I can't find him.
He's making plays.
He was making plays.
I like to see that.
Well,
I know.
I would have liked to have seen him make them at Mississippi State.
I know.
But
nevertheless,
he's playing well. So there you go.
Where are you at on Marcel Reed?
I'm not there yet. I mean, I think he's got skills. I don't think he's played a lot of football.
No, he hadn't.
Neither is Arch Manning. But Marcel went on the road in a tough environment against a team that has dudes, and he made plays, and I want to give him all the credit in the world.
Absolutely.
He played his tail off this weekend. The guys what Marcel Reed and Gunnar Stockton did and Trinidad Chambliss for Ole Miss,
oh, man.
I'm impressed.
Huge.
Gunnar Stockton had to, I mean, they were left for dead.
They were dead.
I mean, they were down 21-7. Then in the second half, it was 38-30. I mean, Gunnar Stockton made a couple plays that I didn't know he had. For our listeners, he's the quarterback at Georgia. Both Ole Miss and Mississippi State are going to see him this year. Ole Miss goes to Georgia. Mississippi State will host Georgia. Gunnar Stockton is the QB. It's his first year to start. Let's kind of see what plays out here. He with his team's back against the wall on the road, like Marcel Reed. This is what impresses me. He made a couple of plays. You don't have to be perfect throughout the game, and the quarterbacks are not going to be. But when you have to do it, he did it.
Did he?
Okay? Hey, guys, let's talk underdog, baby. Here's what I like about underdog. It's simple. It's fun. It turns any game into a chance to win. You don't have to worry about managing a fantasy lineup all season long. Instead, you just pick higher or lower on player stat totals and enjoy the ride. I've been playing for a while now, and honestly, the thrill when your guy hits that number is unmatched. It makes every catch, every run, every throw feel like it matters. I'm rolling with Yankees and Twins, and I'm rolling with Aaron Judge for higher than 1.5 total bases. And here's the kicker. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash with entries starting at just $1. That's why Underdog is the move. Head over to UnderdogFantasy.com and make your plays today.
Download the app today and sign up with promo code OUTOFBOUNDS to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code OUTOFBOUNDS. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 and older and present in Mississippi. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.